Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. Not only can the oceans of the world be rough during large storms, but the waves behave differently depending on what part of the ocean you are in. Any navy that can operate in rough seas already has the initiative in a possible confrontation. Rough seas are measured using the Beaufort scale, which assesses wind speed and sea state and ranges from 0, calm, to 12, hurricane. Warships such as the HMNZS Wellington, P-55, an offshore patrol vessel, OPV in service with the Royal New Zealand Navy since 2007, are built with a steel monohull that weighs roughly 1,900 tons and is 279 feet in length. The vessel has a V-shaped hull for increased wave-piercing capabilities, allowing it to operate well in sea conditions up to Beaufort Scale 6, equating to waves up to 20 feet and wind speeds ranging from 25 to 31 miles per hour. Of course, most Navy ships have helicopters. Helicopter pilots in the United States Navy operate the advanced MH-60 Seahawk series, either the Romeo or Sierra variants, each costing approximately $43 million. Seahawks are outfitted with sophisticated sensors, radar, and sonar technology, and are capable of both surface and subsurface surveillance. Missions range from search and rescue to anti-submarine warfare, including precise hover maneuvers for rescuer deployment. Helicopter pilots deploy with flights ranging from 80 to 150 miles from a naval vessel to carry out operations. Pilots face hard daily routines throughout average 6 to 9 month deployments. Taking off and landing in rough seas is even more challenging. An MH-65 Dolphin Rescue operation commences with the helicopter personnel being briefed on the specifics of the mission. In turbulent high seas, the departure from a U.S. Coast Guard cutter is hazardous. Pilots depend on refined abilities and the accurate hand signals of the deck crew. Coordinating the launch with the pitch and roll of the vessel is necessary to offset the motion of the helipad. Returning to the cutter after completing a mission requires pilots to maintain constant visual and radio contact with the deck personnel while matching the ship's motion. By skillfully employing collective and cyclical controls, they guarantee that the Dolphin's wheels make contact with the vessel's flight deck and land despite the cutter's rolling motion. In another example, a Danish MH-60R Seahawk pilot expertly navigates the ship's chaotic motion, slipstream, and bow spray, synchronizes with the vessel's motion, and aligns with the tilting rear flight deck as it approaches rough seas. The landing signal officer provides important visual signals as the Seahawk descends, guiding the aircraft to meet the deck's heaving motion. Precision timing is essential, and a tiny forward motion ensures positive deck contact after several attempts. The sophisticated RAST system, a harpoon-like mechanism, may deploy upon touchdown, quickly securing the Seahawk and ensuring its steadfastness on the slick surface. This delicate procedure is supported by rigorous training, allowing for safe execution in demanding maritime conditions and an air crew that remains calm. Helicopters are also utilized by armies, such as the U.S. Army's CH-47 Chinook. It is the only tandem rotor helicopter in operation, and, because of its tandem layout, is one of the most dependable and stable platforms in the world of military rotorcraft. A Chinook can lift up to 26,000 pounds, but its abilities depend on many factors. Altitude, heat, and fuel weight all play a role in what they can do. Pilots are trained to run the engines for specified periods at specified temperatures. Except for the weight the Chinook can carry, it can also deploy up to 55 troops. Chinooks can extract troops from just about any place. A CH-47 Chinook hovers precisely above the planned extraction spot in a body of water. Crewmen release a Jacob's ladder, an extendable, flexible rope ladder, unspooling it into the water while the chopper remains motionless. Personnel awaiting rescue or extraction grab hold of the rungs and climb out, while the Chinook whips up and sprays water all around them. Due to the wet uniforms and rotor wash, using the Jacob's ladder is a strenuous and labor-intensive exercise. Often, personnel may require help with extraction due to the exhaustion or injury. Jacob's ladders are often used to get personnel back into the CH-47. One of the most common methods used to insert forces into an area of operations, AO, is by means of water casting. With water casting, a helicopter such as the CH-47 flies at about 10 feet altitude and under 10 knots. Personnel then jump from the helicopter into the water, using a technique to protect themselves from impact injury. During water casting, when the deploying forces have an inflated Zodiac or combat rubber raiding craft, CRRC, with them, it is also referred to as a hard duck operation. If the Zodiac is deflated, it is called a soft duck operation. Once in the water, the forces either swim to shore or use the combat rubber raiding craft. U.S. forces can insert into bodies of water utilizing various airdrop procedures from specialized helicopters, such as the CH-47 Chinook or the MH-60 Blackhawk. Combat-equipped personnel exit the helicopter and deploy their chutes, utilizing either static line or free fall, halo or hey-ho procedures to enter the sea from high altitudes, depending on the mission needs. Water casting is an alternative technique used for lower altitude insertions by all types of helicopters. Troops wearing flotation devices exit the helicopter as it hovers low over the water's surface and jump into the water. Quick-release harnesses can be released upon contact, and troops surface to don dive gear like diving fins to make swimming to their destination easier and quicker. Continuous progressive training is required to achieve expertise in these multi-environment insertion methods. Extraction methods can include a rigging system called Special Patrol Insertion Extraction, SPI. When regular landings are not possible, U.S. Marines use the SPI rigging method for rapid and discreet extraction from both land and marine settings. During SPI rigging, Marines use harnesses with carabiners connected to D-rings to attach themselves to a rope suspended from a hovering helicopter. After securing all personnel, the helicopter ascends, delivering the crew beneath it to safety. The distinction between wet and dry SPI rigging is the extraction environment. Dry SPI refers to extractions from the ground that need a stable hover over the area. On the other hand, wet SPI is performed over water, with Marines frequently floating in a column while tethered to the line, necessitating aquatic flotation apparatus and more careful hover management to avoid submersion owing to rotor wash effects. Helicopter pilots require extensive training to fly helicopters because they are so complicated. One of the methods used to train them is the flight simulator. For the UH-60 Black Hawk LM versions, the U.S. Army uses modern flight simulators that provide near-realistic training conditions without the dangers of actual flying. These simulators include a full-motion, 3D visual system that accurately simulates the cockpit and flight characteristics of the Black Hawk. Instrument Flying Regulations, IFR, night vision goggles, NFG operations, aerial gunnery, emergency procedures, and combat mission rehearsal are all scenarios that pilots are exposed to. Pilot skills in navigation, situational awareness, and decision-making under pressure can be honed by simulating real-world meteorological occurrences and warfare settings. Individual or collective training is supported by the simulators, which allows pilots to undertake virtual combined arms operations with other aviation assets, improving interoperability and mission readiness while conserving flight hours and minimizing wear on actual airframes. For CH-47 training, the CH-47 flight simulator at Muir Army Airfield's Eastern Army National Guard Aviation Training Site, EATS, is a cutting-edge training system that simulates the flight experience of the CH-47 Chinook helicopter for pilots and flight engineers. With its full-motion foundation and high-definition visual displays, this simulator replicates the aircraft's unique flying characteristics and cockpit, creating a highly immersive environment. Trainees can participate in various mission rehearsals, emergency procedure training, and bad weather operations to ensure they are prepared for actual flying situations. The device allows for both individual skill development and group training, allowing for crew cooperation and mission planning exercises that are important for operational success. Furthermore, the simulator's low cost and resource efficiency make it essential for continual training while preserving operational fleet availability. Helicopter pilots are a special breed. Not only do they work long hours, but they face other challenges, such as rough seas or extracting personnel from hot zones. If you are a soldier in combat, the sound of rotors approaching is probably a good sound. Fortunately, they are well trained thanks to dedication and systems, such as various types of flight simulators. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.